Let's talk non-physical, non-physical. Let's talk non-physical. Let's talk non-physical. Let us have some spirit talk. Some spirit talk. Let us have some spirit talk.
Yeah, one thing that I think it can work out for us is if you guys start, one of you guys talking, like saying, okay, I'm seeing this, now I'm seeing that, and we can do it in two ways. When somebody's talking, if you see something, you can say what you're seeing. But if you don't see anything, you don't need to worry about telling everybody else, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
You can say, like this: a guy is walking from left to right, and you haven't seen any guy, but I mean, you become like suggesting the others what to see, without worrying about what you really saw or not. You can say it afterwards. Like, let's say, for example, Michael, you start the 5 minutes being the one talking, and you start trying to see something, and if you see something, you say what you're seeing. But if you don't, you describe something for us to imagine, but without worrying about telling us if it is or it isn't. You know what I'm saying? And Arlindo, you can do the same, and then maybe I do the same. So that way, you can try to be in receiving mode, but even if you're not in receiving mode, you say something. And sometimes maybe when you say it, especially I think for Michael, that if you are very into audio, by saying it loud might bring it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you don't see anything, but you say, yeah, an eagle is flying from left to right. The sky is light blue. I see a couple of clouds, and then try to follow that flow.
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
So one thing I practice when somebody is talking slow enough, I practice text transcription in my brain, where I see the words as they are speaking them. Right?
So can you see the text clear?
Not clear, but I can see it, and that gives me then an extra reinforcement. Although I may even begin to not even understand what they're saying because I'm spending so much time just creating a transcription. So
one thing I practice with eyes open is, for example, I can start with letters, and I see A, and I usually practice with my name. I see a C, then I try to see CL, then CLA, then CLAU. So I keep adding one letter. CLAU, CLAUD, CLADIO, and then I try to see the whole cloud here.
And you guys do it with your eyes shut, yeah?
No, I mean, with eyes open. You can do it both ways.
Yeah. Because right now, when I look at you, and then I look at Michael, because you have a blue background, it looks like a blue aura. And then when I look at Michael, I can see a blue aura around Michael's head. And that's the only thing I can see right now. Yeah, you got a blue aura.
Yeah, I see an aura behind you now.
Yeah. See, I've made you aware of it now. It's funny. All it takes is for someone to mention it, and immediately you become aware of what the other person's saying.
The other thing is, I think I mentioned to Michael, but not to you, Arlindo, is that I know that one of the mission is to record the stuff, but at the same time, I want to try new things. By trying, we might have some talking that we don't achieve much, but eventually, I think we will.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to maybe try to practice at some point is to try to to get out of body. Even though most probably we will not really get out of body, but I noticed that when I try to get out of body, I tend to get my senses more sensitive, let's say, because when I was trying to get out of body, I felt like a presence of a soul yesterday. So it's kind of like the fact of trying to do that, it gets me into a different state. So maybe by practicing, you might get something similar too, that maybe you try to get out of body, but while trying that, you might get visuals, you might get audio, you might get something else, just for the fact of trying to change your state.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Something
never tried that
to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely we could try it now. But you want to do the other exercise first, right?
I don't know exactly what I want to do. But one thing I noticed from editing the video, the last video with the 4 people, that for example, watching videos of fireplace, water, is I think that is something that I think is more effective for us to do it on our own than to, because at least the way I see it, and other people might feel the same way. It might be, let's say we are 8 people. It might work for one person, but the others are like, I don't know, I'm not into the fire, let's say, or I'm not that into the water.
You don't want to get burned.
No, but it's that something more to do it in a personal level, right? Somebody can suggest, okay, add a category, because maybe I can build some categories like with certain themes, water theme, let's say forest theme, different themes. So, well,
definitely.
Let me see if I can. Do you want to try the one that somebody speaks for 5 minutes?
All right. And when we do it with our eyes shut, we have to try and visualize someone moving from side to side, or there has to be some kind of motion, right? Could be some character.
Well, that's what is on my mind, but I'll let you select whatever you want.
Oh, right. So it has to be something intentional, or do we just wait for something to arise?
No, like I said, I would suggest try to see if you see something, but if you don't see something, speak up something. I mean, basically, fake it. But the rest don't have to know, and even if you think you're faking it, it doesn't matter, because you are adding input to the other people. So you're still being useful. It's not like it's still, because you become the one saying something for the others to imagine. Because for example, in the first practice I did with Michael, I was supposed to say letters. And in my case, I was waiting for a letter to come up, and then I say like Z. So I was saying it at different times, because sometimes I get 3 letters in a row very fast, and sometimes it took like a couple of seconds to get the next letter. But if I don't get any letter, I can't just say any letter without me seeing the letter.
And it just comes to you just like that.
Because still, for the other people, it's the same thing. So, and still for the one saying it, you're still practicing, because you are trying to see something. But if you don't see something, you just say something. Kind of like you're waiting for the other person to talk, and you don't hear anything from the other person, so then you say something to keep the
Yeah.
conversation, right?
I see. Yeah, yeah. Keep it going.
So let me start the timer. If you want, guys, I can be the first.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me
If
start.
there are any blanks, then we'll try and fill them in.
So one thing I was thinking that even if you don't hear the sound of the counter, I can hear it. So I can say loudly, okay, it's done. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start the counter. It started. So I'm the one talking. I see 3 stripes, horizontal stripes. Now I see an eye looking to the center. Looking towards me, it has light colors. Okay, I see like a UFO, like a light, like you see an object in the sky. And the object is moving from left to right. It's not moving super fast like a typical UAP. It's going slow. Now I see mainly blackness, and I see one fixed star on the right. So let's move that star on the right to the left. Okay, an eye came back again. Now it's 2 eyes. Okay, now I feel like I'm floating. So I feel less of my physical body. I feel more like floating and then getting some height. And I'm feeling some vibrations, like pressure in the crown area and also in the back of the neck. Wow, it's getting more pressure even in the area of the forehead. Well, guys, I'm not joking really, but I think maybe I get some connection with somebody sending me some love or something because I'm getting a lot of pleasure. So whoever it is, thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Maybe you care about what we are doing and you are giving us support. Okay, guys, this is unexpected, but I'm getting more and more pressure in my crown, especially. And I'm seeing an eye. So is that eye you? Okay, I don't know who you are, but thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, let me try to something else. The eye keeps popping up. Let's say now I see like three lights in diagonal, 45 degrees. So like a backslash, 3 lines, 3. Well, like they are not exactly dots. They are like little lines. Okay, now a horse with a rider on top going from left to right over grass, and there is a lake next to the. I mean, they are passing by a lake on the left. So there are some trees in the background. And now they are going faster speed. And now the horse has wings. and the horse starts flying with the guy there on top. So they keep flying higher, and now they are turning like back. I mean, turning to the left, going back now, right to left. So now the horse with wings became like a big insect. Like the wings are like transparent. It is a big head, but it doesn't look scary. Okay, finished. Okay, so what do you guys think?
It's funny because, yeah, do you want to go first, yeah? It's funny because when you mentioned the 3 columns at the beginning, I imagined myself straight away to be inside a spaceship in a room that's round, so presumably a flying saucer. And I could see some windows, and I was looking out into space. And then you mentioned a UFO there, and when you mentioned it, it actually came after I had already imagined it. So that took me
Maybe
back.
you transmitted that to me then.
Yeah, maybe. And
It is
I
possible.
didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to interrupt you.
I'm getting again vibrations here. I think I'm getting a presence of something being with us, because I usually don't get that much vibrations when having a session. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. You know, when you get the vibrations, is it similar to when you're trying to have an OBE, and you know sometimes you get the strong vibrations, like, and because for me sometimes I get vibrations when I'm trying to induce an OBE.
No,
And
usually no.
yeah,
No,
sometimes
usually
I get like a something in my head like pulsing, and I can hear a sound like, and then it begins to speed up like, and I, with my mind, I try to heighten that sound, and then it's like, and then, and it begins to sound like thunder, like, you know, like crackling in my head. And then that's when it reaches a peak, that's when I separate. And I usually just I tend to roll over and out because it feels like it's easier for me. You know, I start from the head, I start rolling from the head, and the rest of the body follows. And then I'm out. And then it's usually an inaccurate replica of my bedroom. But yeah, I get those vibrations. So I'm wondering if your vibrations are similar, you know, like sometimes it's like, you know, you feel it trembling.
in my case, I feel like pleasure.
Pleasure, right.
Is the best way to describe it. It is and I don't know, but I tend to relate it to love too. I felt love in this case. Somebody that is watching us is loving me or loving us or loving the situation. By the way, I didn't tell you guys, but last night somebody was telling me that I am an empath. And I don't know exactly if I fit into being an empath, but that's what I got.
Right. Kind of like what Zoltan.
Or maybe they're trying to tell me that I have the potential to be more empathic. I don't know, more. If I tune more into being emotional, I can maybe get more access or more experiences. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but keep going. I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yeah, and I began to visualize everything that you were saying, but the UFO part, I was already there, and then you mentioned it, and then you began to mention the rider, and as you were saying, describing what you were seeing, you know, the rider and the horse, and then the lake. I was the rider on the horse, just riding, you know, from side to side and seeing this landscape and seeing the lake, and then the sky had a UFO as well. It's almost like I'm now the rider, but I can see where I've come from, the UFO, and the UFO was also following us in the sky. And that's pretty much the extent of my visualization. And then when you said about the wings, I began to imagine like insect wings sprouting out, and then I'm flying. and then I'm going towards the UFO, and all I can see is mostly just blue sky, and that's pretty much it.
I keep getting the vibrations, the pressure here. It's unbelievable. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, really. Everything that it's almost like nothing was my own apart from the UFO. But then you mentioned the UFO and you hijacked that. I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, it's almost like it also made me wonder as you were describing these things, and then my mind for a brief period of time began to wonder. I abandoned all the visualizations and I began to wonder, did I actually transmit this to him?
Yeah,
Should I say something?
That's
should I
why
not?
this exercise, I think they are very, very good, because with Michael we had something similar. Because when you don't really try to get whatever somebody else is imagining or thinking, you might get it easier by not saying, by doing something like this.
Yeah.
Like transmitting without saying that you're transmitting something. It's basically, you might be connecting in the background, and you don't know about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We should do more of this.
So spooky. Yeah, no, definitely.
And I got surprised because I wasn't expected to get vibrations, get the eye, and get the. I'm still getting it right now.
So I have two jokes before I tell you what I saw. So one joke is when Claudio's like, guys, I'm getting all these feelings. It's real. I was thinking to myself, it's like, I'm having a stroke, call 911. I'm like visualizing the numbers 911. In other words, we're not taking any of it seriously because we're busy visualizing. The other joke I was going to say is, well, you guys were on a spaceship. I was playing with letter blocks. No. So
like you can do your own thing.
No.
It's like when you go to
everything, including what you're feeling. But I would say that I was following along, like as you were saying things, I was building those things. I wasn't necessarily like receiving extra imagery. I was using your words as a prompt into my system, which would generate whatever it's going to generate. And when you said the wings turn to insect wings, yeah, boom, now they turn into insect wings. It's like I was allowing you to script my generative AI. But I would say that I wasn't all that much making my own stuff. Like when you mentioned the backslash, as soon as you described exactly what you were saying about the 3 dots in the diagonal, and then it was a backslash, boom, I saw it. In other words, as soon as it was described in a way that I understood what you were saying, I knew how to visualize it, and boom, it appeared. So I think it was good what I did too, even though it wasn't so much shared. It demonstrates to me that if you give me something to visualize, I can do it. It's just so that's a positive, even if it wasn't a shared experience and I wasn't off.
No, but I think
traveling with you guys.
I wanted to try this and it worked very well. I think this is a very good practice. One is being the one saying whatever it experiences, or sometimes inventing something, but without worrying, without anybody worrying about what is invented and what is not.
Because I think it's better. Yeah, it's better than a script, because if you had been following a script, then Arlindo wouldn't be able to influence that script theoretically. Whereas when we're making it on the fly, then we're allowing other people to participate.
Yeah, that's good. Today I'm not that strong in the visuals, and I started faking it a little bit, but actually some little things. But when I started faking it, I saw it after I faked.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, because sometimes, like I was saying, sometimes you don't really see what you're saying, but after you say it, you see it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think it's gonna be good for you guys to try the same, because.
Yeah.
So let me prepare the counter again. So who wants to go next?
Do you want to try? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give it a go.
Hold on, because I have to find the counter. You wanna go next, Arlindo?
Yeah, go on.
Are you there, Michael? Michael?
I'm here. Can you
Oh,
see me?
no, because I'm looking at, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, started.
Okay, I'm running through a road and it's really dark and I can only see the moon. It's a full moon, no stars. And I'm running as fast as I can through that road. And I'm trying to take massive leaps, a bit like Spider-Man. Now I'm Spider-Man. And I'm using webs. And the webs extend really far. I can't really see where the webs are going, what they're reaching, what they're sticking to. And now I'm swinging as if I'm hooked to the dark sky, no longer touching the road, just swinging a bit like Tarzan. And I just keep going and going. And ahead of me, I can see 2 mountains and I'm going towards it. And now I can see the sun. The sun's rising gradually. The sky is beginning to brighten up and I'm going towards the sun. And the sun is white in the middle and it's yellow and orange and red on the edges. And it's quite fiery. It doesn't look like the sun. And I'm going towards it. And I go through it and it's a wormhole now. And I'm going through the wormhole and it's like a tunnel. And I can see the stars being stretched around me, going towards something. And it's a winding tunnel. And I keep going through it at high speed, going faster and faster. And now I'm coming upon 3 galaxies. And I'm in intergalactic space, practically. And these galaxies are of different colors. One's yellow, one's pink, and the other one's blue. And now I'm going through those galaxies. I'm going right in the middle and past those galaxies now. I never quite touched them. Now I'm going through it and beyond the galaxies. I can no longer see the galaxies. And I can see a dark void. There are still some stars on the edges, but the void is growing, becoming bigger and bigger. Now it dominates my field of vision. And now I see 2 horizontal stripes, and they're white, and they're coming from the top. And now they're going towards the bottom, and they're moving very slowly. I still have the sensation of moving, but it's almost like these stripes don't really belong to the dark void. They are just superimposed and moving gradually, like a game. And now I can see a speck of light in the distance. And I'm going towards it. And it's growing gradually, becoming bigger and bigger. And now it's an opening, and it's leading me to a city under a blue sky. And I can see the Eiffel Tower. It makes me think it's Paris. It has to be Paris. There's also a bridge and a river. I'm going towards the bridge. And it's a funny bridge. It's brown. It looks like a giant chameleon. It's just something about the shape. It's almost like a living creature. And it's changing shape. It's a bit like a dinosaur, like a stegosaurus. It's got just sharp bones on its back. But it's very still. It doesn't move. It still makes me think it's a bridge in the shape of a dinosaur. And I'm just trying to view this thing from different angles. I'm flying over it. I can see it from the top. Still looks like a dinosaur. I can see some cars going through it. They're moving slowly. Now I'm trying to land on it. I'm descending upon the bridge. Now I'm on it. And I'm walking on it. And it's really muddy. Now it's raining. And I can hear the sound of rain. Now I've left the bridge. Walking the streets. Turning right very quickly. No longer walking. I'm gliding now. I'm curious to see any characters around. I don't see any yet. I just see cars moving. There's a red car parked on the side of the road. I'm going towards it. I can see John Travolta inside. Now he's looking at me and he's waving. I'm waving back. And now I've lost everything. I think that's it.
Well, you went over the 5 minutes, but I didn't want to stop you.
Yeah.
No, that was fine. Oh my goodness, you are really something.
At first, I picked the road. Yeah, I thought,
Before I forget, one thing I want to see if maybe I got it. When you said the 3 galaxies, one was yellow, one pink, and one blue.
Yeah.
I saw the yellow. I saw them like a triangle. A triangle.
Yeah, that's how I was seeing them. Yeah.
I saw the yellow on the left top. So the triangle pointing downwards. So the yellow on the left, the pink on the right, and the blue on the bottom.
Right. So
no kidding. No, it wasn't like it was like that.
Yeah. So your left is my right. So that's exactly how I saw it. How I'm looking at you. You said it on the top of your left.
Yeah, yellow, pink, and blue on the bottom.
But when you raise your hand, that's where I saw the yellow one, and then the pink one where you said it was, and then the blue one.
Yeah.
So like it's exactly it's exactly how you said it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's really odd. That's really strange.
Well, I didn't see them because today my visuals are not that great. I didn't see them clearly, but I saw the colors.
Yeah. Yeah,
So kind of like got the message in a in a lower resolution, let's say.
yeah. So they're pale in the middle, shaped like discs, and then the outline, the glow, is where the colors are. And where you say you saw them, it's exactly how I saw them. Yeah, yellow on top.
I wanted to see if
Pink.
that was true, if
Yeah,
the location was at least
yeah,
good, because the quality for me wasn't that great, but at least I got the areas,
yeah, yeah. And I must
Interesting.
say that the space around the galaxies, the intergalactic space, they were, I'd say, pretty much devoid of any stars. It was just like darkness, but the galaxies were there, and I just went past the galaxies. But yeah, how you say you saw them is exactly how I saw them.
I
Yellow there,
also nice.
pink there, and blue there, and
Yeah.
like a triangle, like you said, like a triangle.
Also I was surprised when you said that you were listening to the sound of the rain.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, so you're getting audio.
And that was the first time that audio came on. Because I saw the rain. It was beginning to rain, and for some reason I got the audio straight away. That's
It
really
was like
strange.
real audio or like pseudo audio?
Like like
Or,
that.
but do you think it was like this similar to physical audio?
Let's say that the sound seemed to match the rain. It seemed to. It wasn't like displaced or anything. It seemed to match it. Like the drops hitting the ground, like it was quite realistic. But it
You're
was
very
the
good for
only
this.
instance. Yeah, it was the only instance when I got audio, and the rest of it was just just visuals, practically visuals and moving, constantly moving, swinging, going forwards. It is pretty much.
But that's inspiring, because I want to get maybe practice with videos with some audio, like simple like that, like rain, because that way maybe I like to get something like you get.
Yeah.
I
And the
mean, I
thing
can
is,
get it, but in a deeper state, in more like a lucid dream state, but not easy when I am awake like this.
yeah, I picked the road at the beginning without even seeing it. And once I mentioned the road, because I thought, okay, this is going to be a journey, so I'm just going to pick a road. And then as soon as I said it, then I could see it, but the sky was black. And then the more I went into it, then I began to not pick it, but it's like the first thing that came into my head, and then I began to see it. It's hard to describe. It's like it just came to me before I could see it, and then I could see it, and it could be faint, and then it would become more vivid gradually. It's
So
a bit like that.
you're getting a lot in receiving mode. So that's very good. When you mentioned the dinosaur, I saw a dinosaur, and I
As a
also when you said that it was the bridge, it
yeah,
was funny because suddenly the dinosaur, I wanted the head down, like getting straight, like the tail aligned with the head.
yeah, yeah.
I'm suddenly it flattened the back so that it became the road. In my case, the way I saw it.
Oh, right, right.
Because I
Yeah,
mean, I was seeing a regular dinosaur, but then when you said it was a bridge, then I
yeah.
changed the dinosaur to make it in this
Oh, and it became
position,
flat.
and flatten the top.
Yeah,
It was funny. It was funny because I
yeah,
was following what you were saying, and I
yeah,
got that
yeah.
transformation of the dinosaur. It was
Yeah.
like a transformer. The dinosaur started getting more
Shifting it. To me, it was more still.
pixelated. I mean, like
It was
how do you
curved.
call it in how do you call it in morphing
Yeah, morphing.
in
Yeah,
graphic processing is called morphing, when you morph from one shape to another shape.
yeah, yeah.
It's a morphing. Yeah, but I
I
mean,
want.
I was following everything, and when you said another funny thing is when you said before you said Spider-Man, when you were saying that you are running faster, I saw Flash, but I saw the Flash, but with a dark suit because everything was dark, and it was more like
Yeah.
a dark suit with the thunder here,
Yeah,
and running fast like that. But then you say Spider-Man, and then I started seeing a Spider-Man, but before I
yeah,
saw the Flash.
yeah, yeah.
That was
Wrong
nice.
superhero.
It was
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. I wonder
Uh,
if for the person who has the visualization, uh, things are more stable. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. Is it possible that for me things would be more stable, but for you guys it would be those things, but less stable? They fluctuate more. You know, like with the bridge. You're saying that you saw the bridge morphing, whereas for me it was more, stable. And even though it was a dinosaur, it was also a bridge that people could walk over. But
well, because I was following what you were saying. So when you said the dinosaur, I didn't think it was flat because sometimes you see more than what you are saying, right? So you're ahead of us, let's say. So
yeah, yeah,
in my
yeah, that's
case,
true. That's true.
I first imagined the dinosaur in a normal position, let's say. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, it was in Paris, right, or close to
yeah,
the.
yeah, that's
I
right.
also
Yeah.
saw the Tour Eiffel. I
Oh, yeah,
saw
yeah,
it.
yeah. The Eiffel Tower.
The Eiffel Tower. Um, yeah. Anyway, it was very interesting to try to follow what you were saying, and
Yeah.
nice.
So once again, I saw some
I've never
letter
tried it.
blocks. No, I'm joking. Um,
Yeah.
You were playing with
no,
cubes.
I was follow. I was follow. I'm just kidding around. No, I followed along. Yeah, I saw the galaxies more as like three. So three galaxies, and then when he was saying, well, here's the colors, I'm like waiting to fill, to color them in with the different colors. Um, the Stegosaurus is interesting because the way I perceived it is, you were mentioning the different spikes, and I thought of the spikes as, let's say you were landing on the bridge, as like the separator between the two lanes of traffic, like so I don't know. So I was able to. I think I was able to keep certain features in my mind pretty well, but I also found a little bit difficult for me to move. So everything I perceived as like third person, like not everything, but like at the beginning when somebody's running, I'm seeing a person running on the road, right? It's not
Yeah.
me running. And so I'm watching Spider-Man from the back as he's putting out his webs, and it's almost like I'm following behind him, watching him as he's doing his thing, rather than me doing it.
Yeah.
So it was very third person for me.
I was going to say, when you said about the bridge,
Yeah.
and it's like the spikes are separating the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
roads, the traffic. When I could see the bridge, when I had a bird's eye view of the bridge, I could see the spikes on either side of the dinosaur,
Mhm.
and then the path in the middle, like a curved path. But I
Mhm.
could see almost like two barriers preventing any cars from from going overboard.
Oh, that's
Like
so funny.
on either
Yeah,
side.
so I
Yeah,
saw it as one set of spikes as a median, and you saw it as two sets of spikes to be the guardrails. That's interesting.
yeah, yeah. That's right.
Okay, well, I guess I wasn't tuned into the same universe. No, I'm joking. But it's so funny because what I thought was interesting too was just how you went from like the mundane and almost dark, right? You're running in a dark area to a portal to sort of like galactic, and then back into something a little bit more mundane again, of course, with the extra surrealism of the dinosaur. And then I thought it was really funny at the end there when you're walking towards a car and you see somebody very specific like John Travolta. I was able to create an image in my mind. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I think it's good that we do these things, because you know how like in the if you ever go to these seminars and stuff, they ask you to imagine you're by a lake and there's some nice trees. In other words, it's always the same kind of imagery. So it's kind of fun when you can sort of expand your palette and think about like different things, including people and whatever. I think it gives us more imaginative skills.
Let me tell you, for me, it was so entertaining. I mean, for example, two parts. One, when you were saying that Spider-Man was throwing the webs, and then he was throwing the webs on the sky. So when you change to the sky, suddenly I started flying up. So basically saying, well, it's good that Arlindo suggested this thing, because now I'm suddenly flying. So kind of like you made me fly by following your story. You know, it was, and also the John Travolta part. I laughed. I mean, I was like laughing internally when I was seeing the. I mean, saying hi. I imagine the face, you know, like maybe like a serious face, and then the smile that he has. Yeah. And I saw his face pretty clear. And I also after that I was thinking, well, maybe now he's dancing next to you, you know, like doing the moves and then you copying the moves. Anyway, but anyway, it made me feel very entertained, like I was watching a nice movie. Yeah. But it's even better than that, because sometimes I felt in being in the movie, like the part where you say suddenly Spider-Man is shooting in the sky.
What if there's an AI where as you're speaking what you're seeing, it's converting it into video frames? You know, it's like and so it's creating its own image of what's going on so that people can see it as the person's talking, you're kind of like seeing what they're seeing to some extent, obviously.
I think that's the case, because I don't think that you create from scratch, like Arlindo. You don't create a dinosaur from scratch. It comes to you, right?
Yeah.
So the same happens to me.
A weird bridge, and then in my mind it just became a dinosaur. So mostly it came to me, really. Yeah.
Right. So basically, you're letting something to come to you.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, that bridge is quite funny. It's got a funny shape. What is it? And then the answer just comes to me. Is it a dinosaur? Is it a Stegosaurus? And then it begins to resemble the Stegosaurus, and it becomes that. Yeah.
You see, I mean, what you are doing right now was the perfect example to see how positive imagination can be. Because even though you were imagining some things, a lot of the things came to you as a surprise, not because you were imagining, but you being in agreement with, I mean, taking imagination as your friend instead of something separate. Then it becomes easier for you to be in receiving mode. Similar to me, I can start with some imagination, but then I go with the flow, and then I'm in a good receiving mode after that, and then I get surprised like you did. Yeah. So it's very, very positive.
So my question to you, Arlindo, is was this more profound than your typical practice? You know, I mean, or do you do this regularly?
I've never done anything like this. I've never narrated what I've imagined.
Certainly.
Yeah. So, but it's definitely been a journey, and for me, I felt like discovering things. I was in that discovering mode. You know, it's almost like, okay, I pick the road, I create the road, and then I describe it to you. But then it's almost like I lose interest in wanting to create things, and I'm just waiting for any indication of something emerging.
So this is sort of novel for you too.
Okay, cool. Definitely.
And that's excellent. That's excellent. And I think being able to express it to other people encourages you to want to narrate it. And maybe narration in some ways is like an extra affirmation for our generator system. Because we're not just thinking it, we're also speaking it. So it's kind of like a spell, like a magic spell. All right.
Also, it was very dynamic. I mean, I like the you were getting the flow so consistent.
Yeah.
So consistent.
Towards the end, I was getting conscious of time, and then your mind takes you elsewhere, and you know there's the temporal concern, and then all of a sudden I've just lost everything. Everything just faded to black because I was beginning to become aware of time. I was going to say, what did John Travolta look like to you guys? Because to me, it was like a young John Travolta in Greece.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, younger, definitely.
Hair, you know,
like he was in the movie Saturday Night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely younger.
But he was wearing a black suit, not a white one.
Yeah, same in mine. Yeah, inside
same
the
there.
car.
Oh
yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
the typical is the white one, but I saw it in a black suit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. Well, now we get to do imagination of letter blocks. No, I'm joking. I'm just being funny. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let me start the.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me know.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go for it.
Okay. So the first thing I'm seeing is really interesting. It's like a half moon, the number 1, and then a sphere. So it's almost like a word, like DIO, but without the straight part of the D. Let's keep going. Let's see what happens. Now I'm seeing definitely an eyeball, a nice size eyeball. It's got the full iris, cornea. I'm sorry, yeah, iris, cornea, pupil, eyelashes, and it's pretty stable in my view. It's actually, I'm pretty impressed. I guess we're getting a little bit extra boost here. It's the coloring is pretty limited. It's not, but it's pretty stable shape and structure. Okay, and I'm just staring at it. It's mostly in my left eye, and now it's starting to fade. All right. Yeah, I've been focusing mostly on my visual field. Now I'm seeing something that looks like a right-facing triangle banner. Nothing interesting yet. Nothing at the same level of you guys yet. I'm seeing something that could be like a bunch of trees in a background. But then as I'm getting sort of moving through it, it's looking a little bit like the image of like a meditating person. It's very small in my field of view, but they kind of have like a triangular aura. And they're kind of like holding their hands, you know how they have thumb and fingertips. And they're just kind of meditating. They have like a long spike, like hat, almost. Kind of reminds me of like almost like a witch's hat, because it's got the triangle. That's all I'm seeing is the hat right now. I'm gonna shake that off and see what else. Yeah, I'm having some what we'll call performance anxiety, but that's fine. It's interesting because now the hat reappears, but now it's pointing down and to the left. It's like a black hat. You know how like the way I would describe it is it's like an orange cone, except it's a black cone. Okay, now the hat is rotating a little bit clockwise. It almost looks like the letter T because I'm looking at it from the side, but upside down almost. Okay. Yeah, once again, I'm definitely seeing this hat more. And I'm wondering, at least in my imagination, I'm wondering if this reflects sort of like a symbol of like sorcery or some aspect of my previous self that they're trying to get across. It's sort of like inviting me, so to speak. Maybe I'll try putting on the hat, for example. It's funny because I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the hat on, but I'm also seeing almost like a cat face as I'm struggling to get it back on. Maybe I'm like one of those sorcerers where the cat keeps tipping over all the chemicals as I'm trying to do experiments. Now the hat is being presented in a different way, where I'm looking from through the bottom of the hat. So you see a square, and then you see a dark circle in the middle of the square. And it's still fairly small in my field of view, but I'll try to magnify it. I'm coming back to like a very, very thin moon type shape. But the moon is black. It reminds me of the letter C.
Well, the time ended.
Okay, great.
You okay?
Yeah, I was pretty disappointed that I didn't have like this this three-dimensional movie in IMAX, but I think there was a simple message that they were just that I felt like was just trying to get across, is this notion of but basically they're working with me with simple imagery at this point, but they're sort of reminding me of my sorcery past, when I used to use like symbols and might have wore a black hat. And it's just kind of like, but I think that it was definitely very rudimentary. I don't think there was anything complex in any of what I was seeing. I hope it wasn't too boring for you guys, but maybe that gave you also an opportunity to develop what you wanted to develop. So I'd be interested to hear if you guys developed anything.
Do you want to go next, yeah?
Okay, let me go, because of course it wasn't as rich as Arlindo's experience, but when you mentioned the cats, I started seeing several types of cats. I got entertained with the cats. They were mainly dark black, but there were some with mix of black and white. You see the typical cats, and the color of the eyes, they were beautiful, like green, green with a little light blue. I was focused on the beauty of the eyes of the cats. And the beginning, when you said the big eyes, I saw the eyes, and I think at some point you said something on the left, on your left eye. You were saying, what does it mean that you saw it on the left, or why do you say?
Yeah, it was my left field of view, so I consider it coming out of my left eye or my left visual field.
Yeah, but I don't know why you keep assuming things like they have to be like the physical. You might have, I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. But anyway, when you said left, it was funny because I was seeing the face on the left before you said left. It was the eye from the left at an angle. So it was like this. Some angle like this, the eye. So it wasn't straight looking at me. It wasn't, and the beautiful, it was like a woman eye, because very beautiful big eyelashes. So like those eyes that you see in advertisement for some cosmetics products for eyelashes or eyelashes ad. So it was very, very beautiful. Well, then when you are seeing trees, of course, I mean, I started seeing a lot of trees because for me, trees are like always welcome. Um, but anyway, my visuals today are not the best. I don't know why. But the cats were the things that I saw the best. The eyes, the women eyes, and the cats. And of course, when it was nice to follow your narration, because immediately when you said the hat, like a witch hat, I saw it right away, like I said, like a big cone, like an orange cone but black. And I remember the Halloween, because I saw similar hats in Halloween, but it was thinner. It wasn't that wide. I guess it was like more like taller, thinner. Um, so anyway, that was nice to follow the narration and suddenly see. And also when you mentioned somebody meditating, I think, right? Or somebody sitting, yeah. And then it became with the hat. It was nice, and I was seeing like a nice sky as the background. It was also pretty good. So I don't know what else to say. What about you, Arlindo?
I'm going to say that when he mentioned the eye, Michael, I could see a front view of an eye, and he was quite big, like it dominated my field of vision. And then as soon as he began to describe the parts of the eye, the cornea, the lens, the cornea, and everything else, the eye rotated slightly to become like a diagram, like sideways. I could see it became a diagram, but it was the lines were white against a black background, but it was still a diagram of an eye. And even though it was just like an eyeball, and then all the parts, and then I could see hints of like lines and the names for the different parts of the eye. I could also see at the top of the eye eyelashes, like curved eyelashes, like massive curved eyelashes. And then all of a sudden I began to see like buildings on top of the eye. And then in my mind, I thought, he's not actually saying that. He's not mentioning buildings. Where are the buildings coming from? And so straight away, I erased the buildings and I tried to focus on what he was saying. When he mentioned the trees, I could see trees as though I'm flying over a forest, and the treetops are green, like this vivid green, but under a night sky. And the trees are very well groomed, like very well groomed, perfect trees, like perfectly round. You don't see like
Nice.
trees like in the real world, yeah. And when he said about the person meditating with the hat, first it was like he said a pyramid. So to me, the hat was like a pyramid, and then it had an eye in the middle, and it was someone that looked like Benjamin Franklin for some reason. Like maybe it just made me think of the dollar bill. So it was first it was Benjamin Franklin, and then when he said the eye was triangular and black, I could see a triangular hat, and it became a witch's hat, and there was like a green glow around the hat, and it was no longer Benjamin Franklin. It was a witch. Like he had a haggard face, like massive bent nose, like proper like a witch. And then it was no longer a witch. When he said at one point, I think he said you could see like a cat, the face of a cat. Then the person meditating, from a witch's face, it morphed into a cat, like it had like feline features and like the mouth, the snout, and it became like a half human, half cat. And then there was a black cat running around. And when he said about the potions, I could see like test tubes and flasks, and the cat was just running into them and breaking stuff. But the person meditating, this half human, half feline, just remained still and didn't move. And then when he said about the the hat spinning, I could go, I could, it's almost like my perspective began to shift around the person, and I could see the hat moving faster than I was going around the person, if that makes sense. So I'm going around the person, but the hat is spinning even faster. And then when he said, oh, it looks like a T upside down, then I began to focus more on the base of the hat, and the base of the hat was like really wide, and then it curved, and it was actually wider than the height of the hat. So it was wider, but the hat began to become narrower, like the height of the hat began to become narrower for some reason. And let me see, I can't remember anything else really, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a very unstable visualization of what Michael was saying to me. But yeah, but I was trying really hard to stick to his narrative, because my imagination just seemed to want to add things to it. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, this practice, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All of it. And Michael, also, when you don't see much, you can say something that you don't see, and maybe you see it after you say it, like we were just saying.
Well, what I noticed with you two guys is I could say anything, and you guys will just, you'll create it. It's almost like I don't need a consciousness system. I just need you two.
Well, but it's a good exercise for you too.
No, I know. You know, I
when you
was
say
trying
them,
to be receptive. I was trying to just allow, rather than create things. I wanted to see what would come through. I think, I don't know. I think it just depends on the mood you're in and what, yeah. So, you know, we'll see. I'm not too, yeah, I'm not too worried. It's just, but yeah, it's performance anxiety. It's like, what do you sing now? It's like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
No, but I think, do you guys agree with me that I think this is a great exercise?
Yeah.
It's definitely a great exercise. For me, the challenge is not to allow my narration interfere with my visuals, because sometimes I fear that as I'm describing things, then it might kill the the visuals. It's almost like in describing them, I feel that I might be diminishing the richness of the visuals.
But don't feel like you have to talk. You can pause. You can keep visualizing and then say nothing for a while. We can, in the meantime, we can try to see something.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, to me, it was great. Super great.
Yeah, definitely. I think today's session is proving to be even richer than the last one, I think.
Yeah, it's different. This thing.
It's different, yeah.